Hello and welcome to another Rightly Witterings with me, Michael Jex, the tea drinking author, with a quick one for those of you who are interested. So, some time ago, and I'm trying to remember how long ago now, must have been 4 or 5 years ago, I had a conversation with Dante Del Vecchio, and the result of it was I got this, which is one of Dante's last creations, which is the Pineider Avatar Twin Tank Touchdown Ultra Resin UR, and it's called something else. Avatar Traveller, that's the word. And it's wonderful. Very simple. It's got a rounded top to the cap. It's got this wonderful body. It has what I love, which is a magnetic cap. So it's wonderfully quick and easy to remove, post it, whatever you want. And it has a number of features about it which are really clever. One is it has this wonderful narrow body, and when you want to refill it, all you do is pull out the rod, stick it in your ink of choice, press the rod down, and as that piston goes down it creates a vacuum behind it, so that when it hits the bottom there's a flaring. So all of a sudden the vacuum is released and it sucks ink up, and it's incredibly efficient, it really is. What's delightful is, with other pens like the Viscontis that Dante Del Vecchio used to invent, you had a long lengthy screw thread here before you could pull it up. With this he's just got it as a little bayonet fitting, which is simple and really quick. If I'm going away for any period and I know that I don't really want to carry a bottle of ink with me, this is the pen I'll take, because it holds a vast amount of ink in there. It also has the joy of this gold nib, which is what Dante called Ultra Flex, and it is fantastic. It's solid gold nib with a nickel or something similar coating it. It's got a wonderful clip which holds to anything, which is mechanical. It's spring loaded in the top, and very cleverly Dante designed the whole thing so that there is no glue whatsoever in this pen, which means that it can be put together. There are videos on Goulet pens with Dante showing how it's done, and you can put it all together with no glue whatsoever, which means it's incredibly robust as well. And this ultra resin is very, very robust indeed, and there are videos of people hitting it with hammers and it still survives. In fact, there are videos of it being destroyed, but it takes quite a lot of effort. I've had this for, as I say, 4 or 5 years, and I absolutely love it. Recently I bought this version. Now this is slightly different because you can personalise it by, there's a little plastic, what they call a lens here, and you can put any lettering, or it comes with flags, it comes with letters, it comes with star signs, it comes with Chinese star signs, all sorts of different things. And very much like my Traveller, this pen has a magnetic cap which also confusingly attaches magnetically to the back of the pen, because it has this bit of metal, and you actually have to push it on over the magnet to get it to post. That's fine. I rarely post, but with this pen I do post it. It's one of the very few that I will. I'll come to that in a second. It's got this same ultra resin, incredibly robust. This has not got a gold nib. This has the best extra fine nib I have ever used, and it's steel. It's absolutely wonderful, really effective. never goes dry. It's just magnificent. If I unscrew it, it has a standard cartridge converter. And the reason why I wanted to talk about these two pens was because someone wrote after last week's video and said, well, I'd never pay that much for a pen, when I was talking about Conway Stewart's. And someone else said I would never pay that much for a pen that hasn't got a piston or a vacuum filler in it. And both of those are valid comments. The only thing I would say is that these have, for me, different uses. Now, one, this is not a particularly expensive looking pen, is it? And it's not. I mean, the pen itself I think is about £150. What makes it expensive is the nib is also about £150 because it's solid gold and because it's a really good flex nib. It makes it expensive. This, on the other hand, really isn't expensive. It's very elegant. They both have the Pineider logo running around here. They both have a picture as a background of the skyscape of Florence, where the pens are made and where Pineider are based. But why I got this pen was because it's bright yellow and extra fine nib. And the reason for wanting it is purely because it means I've got this pen now as my daily carry for sketching and writing notes when I'm out and about. It's absolutely perfect for that, because if I drop this on the grass I can see it. If I'm out and about, it's not likely to get scratched or damaged. And the extra fine nib works extremely well for my type of sketching and drawing, as well as working perfectly well for writing, of course. It is a fabulous pen and not very expensive. The pen itself cost me, I think it was €40. Admittedly it was in a sale, but I thought for €40 I can't go wrong. Then of course I discovered that there would be extra for the postage, for the taxes on import, and it worked out at €80, but you know, hey ho, that's life. This I adore. It has got one problem which I can't not mention, and that is where the cap meets the rest, where the metal here meets the plastic of the cap, you might just be able to see that moves. It's not a huge problem, but it feels odd. Now there's obviously something wrong with the manufacturing process when they made it, that's fine, but is it something that's a showstopper for me? No, it's not. If I ever get to Florence I'll take it with me and I will show it to the chaps in the Pineider shop and say, what do you recommend? And they'll probably say, hit it hard on the top and that'll keep it solid. But as a practical pen for taking out and about, for the size of the reservoir, for the quality of that nib, and for the fact that it just feels superb in the hand, this is one pen that I will never get rid of. One other failing, it's not just the cap. Also, if you're the sort of person who likes to post your pen cap, this is not necessarily a good one, because every now and again I have discovered that it's not going to do it now, but every now and again I've discovered that it will grip the back, and when you take the cap off it'll pull the piston out. Now if you do that, turn the pen upside down and very slowly push it back, and hopefully you won't squirt ink at everybody in the train carriage with you, which is what nearly happened with me. So that is one thing. If you're going to post these pens, do it with caution and always twist it in a clockwise direction. If you twist it anti-clockwise, you may just pull that piston out. But that is the only failing. With this one, the only failing I've had is that once or twice the lens has fallen off. I've always spotted it, I've always been able to pick it up again, but that is a minor failing. With this, I will always post it because it's not too heavy, that cap. The rest of the pen is quite light apart from the metal section at the front, and that means that posting it doesn't give me any problems at all. And in fact, I have not yet discovered any fault with this pen. Now, why am I mentioning these two today? As I say, it's because two people made comments. One was that the Conway Stewarts are very expensive. Well, they're not really. They're the equivalent price to Mont Blanc or anything else of that type of standard. Someone else said, well, I wouldn't touch it because of the size of the tank. So I thought it would be worthwhile mentioning these today because this morning, today is Wednesday the 19th of March, I discovered that Cult pens have got a sale on. Now, I have no affiliation with Cult pens, I've got nothing to do with them whatsoever. I started using Cult pens as a stationery and pen supplier, must be nearly 20, it was when they just started, and I began using them because they were based in Tiverton. That meant that I was supporting a local stationer. That's it, no other reason. Over the years I've grown to appreciate them more and more, although now I must admit I really am not happy with their postage costs and various other things, but that's by the by. What I would say is that if you're interested in a Pineider, these are currently on sale at Cult Pens. It's cultpens.com, and if you go there and look up brands, you'll find that Pineiders are all there. Now, I am looking currently at the Pineider Avatar UR Demo Black Finitures Fountain Pen Clear. When it says black finitures, I think that means it has black features or black furniture. Basically what they're saying is, as far as I can tell, that the nib has got some sort of black treatment, the section has got black treatment, the clip has got black treatment. I suspect that the decoration around the cap has too. I don't know, but it's a wonderful clear resin demonstrator pen, just like these two, an Avatar with the magnetic cap and everything else, but it's see-through. And what's lovely, I like this, is because it's see-through, at this section here there are graduations marked off. It's an idea that Dante da Vecchio had some years ago, I know, and that means that it'll tell you how many words left you've got in your reservoir for when you're writing. Now, it's nonsense, of course, because I write with a fairly large hand, just call it a hand. I write with a large hand. I have big letters generally. I normally write with a broad nib. If I had this pen with a broad nib, it would tell me one number of words I could write. If I was writing with a fine nib, it would still tell me the same number of words, but I'd get far more words out. If somebody writes with a very small hand, they will get more words than me with a large hand. You know, there's so much flexibility. But it is a useful, well, it's a pleasant indication. It's a fun indication. So I like that. What else do I like about the look of this pen? I like the fact that it's down from £165 to under 100. It's down to £95. And that seems to be the way of all of these pens. I believe they're selling them all at up to a 40% discount. So if you look at the Pineider Avatar Ultra Resin, the standard should be 145, it's down to 100. The travel, like this, is down from 260 to 155, and that, I think, makes these pens enormously good value. If you want something which is fairly simple, fairly basic, one like this would set you back under £100. So whether you want a pen that is just cheap, so under £100. Whether you want a pen that is very cost effective but also has a massive reservoir, down from 260 to 155, that is not to be sniffed at. And that is about it. I hope that was interesting. I hope it was moderately informative. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments below, or just go straight on to Cult Pens and see what they've got to say for themselves. But I think 40% discount, that makes these pens really good value. And Cult Pens are a very reliable company to deal with. I've been dealing with them for, as I say, well over 10 years. I hope that was interesting. If you like that, give the like and the subscribe and the share it. And if you really want to support the channel, you can join the Patreon, or you can drop me a super thanks or buy me a coffee, whatever you want. I'm really quite easy on that sort of thing. But apart from that, for now, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.